Hello, it is Sunday, so if you watched my last vlog, it's a couple hours after I filmed the last clip in that vlog, but I'm going to kick off the latter half of my SPOOKOPLATHON reading vlog where I roll as I go. I already rolled for my first book that I'm going to read in this iteration, so I'll just go ahead and play that clip. So as you see, I landed on community chest again, and again, I did not make cards for this. So I went ahead and used the randomized TBR prompt thing, and I got a sad book. And for this, I decided to read I Liked My Life by Abby Fabioshi. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, so I'm sorry. But I have started that. I rolled for it on Friday, actually, so spoilers. I'm not very far in. I'm like less than a third of the way in, but the premise of that book, and the reason I picked it, is it's about a woman who committed suicide. And she left behind a husband and a teenaged daughter. And now she is like in the in-between of life and death. And so she can see her husband and her daughter, and she thinks that what will make them happier and what will make their life better is if she finds someone to marry her husband. So I did not expect it to start with her already dead. I knew that she died, but I didn't think that it already started with her dead. It hasn't talked about her reasonings yet. I don't know if it will, but that's one thing that I'm pretty curious about. It has talked about how she did it. It's obviously triggers for that, so if that's going to trigger you, I would not recommend this book. But it is a little similar to The Lovely Bones in that she is watching her family after she has died. Like, watching the strain of the relationship between the father and his daughter, because if he's never really had to be... I mean, he's her parent, but, like, the dead main character is the one who was the like primary parent, I would say. Like, she was a stay-at-home mom, so she stayed with her daughter, and she was the one who did, like, she made all the decisions for the daughter and like basically did most of the parenting, and he just sort of went along with what she was doing. And so now he's finally having to like take a break and do parenting stuff. Take a break like from his work, which is like a point of contention. But
hey girl, hey. Sorry.
Hey Matthew.
Hey girl.
Why are you waving like this?
It's a girl wave.
Anyways.
Read every bit of it?
No. But sorry, Matt just came in, and so he's doing laundry, so if you can hear that in the background, it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm reading that. I'm actually not going to read right now because I'm about to watch the Love is Blind Not Live reunion. I'm very excited for it, but I just wanted to pop in, start this vlog, and let you know what I'm reading. I'm enjoying it so far. It jumps right into the action, which I did not expect. Like, again, I mentioned that I sort of expected it to be about her, like, downward spiral before committing suicide, but it's almost, I can't decide if I like it better that it didn't. But yes, I will keep you apprised of my progress in that, and then we will pick another book when we pick another book. Marvel has decided to join me. Marv? Yes, okay, great. Yeah. Got my wine? Marvel, don't drink it. Okay, great. Hello. It has not been that long. I finished Love is Blind. Murphy, who was right here, yes, don't lick me in the face, attacked a possum in our backyard. And he didn't kill it. Like, he got it for sure. But they play dead, you know, so he thought it was dead, so he left it alone for a while. And we watched until it got up and meandered its way away. And I think she's okay. I cried also, so if I look a little crazy, that's why. Because I'm emotionally unstable. But now I'm thinking about, like, you know how, I don't know, like, soldiers get PTSD from, like, killing something? I know that Murphy didn't really kill the possum, but as far as he knows, he did kill the possum. So my question, I guess, is, like, is he gonna have to deal with that now? Like, is he gonna be really upset forever that he thinks he killed this thing? I honestly think he's fine with it, but I'm really upset that he thinks he killed this thing. Oh, and here's Marvel. This is Marvel. Marvel really did kill a mouse recently. So anyways, my dogs are murderers. This is the skin of a killer, Bella. Hello, it's Tuesday. It's been a couple days since I last updated this vlog, but I wanted to let you know that I finished I Liked My Life. I think I gave it 5 stars, honestly. It's realistically more like a 4.5, but I did cry. And I was listening to it like while I was in my office. And so I had to close my office door so people wouldn't see me just like crying while reading this book. It was really good. Like, it was really emotionally impactful. I feel like the author did a really good job of like not necessarily exactly following what you sort of thought it was going to be. And it's just like a little bit of time in these characters' lives after a loss that they suffered. And you also get some really good closure, and the characters get really good closure for that loss. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I think if you like books, like if you liked The Lovely Bones, it's not a murder, but I feel like the concept of someone like sticking up for, or not sticking up for, but like following after death, staying with their family and stuff. I just thought it was really good. I really liked it. It made me like very emotional. I think realistically it's closer to a 4-star, so I might adjust my rating on that. But I did really enjoy it. I don't really have any complaints. I thought it was really well done. I like depictions of grief in books. I think it's a really interesting emotion, and like death is something that we don't often talk about in our society. So I think it's really interesting that this book explored it, and I like books that explore that. So there's that. I did roll for my next book. I'll play the clip. But I decided that next I'm going to read, I landed on Chance. And again, I did not make cards. I have landed on all of these. I don't know what it is. I'm not getting any of the fun prompts. I'm just getting the ones that like you were supposed to make cards for, and I didn't make cards because I didn't think I was going to land on them. So this time I did make a little Chance list. I deleted my one last time, so I've saved this one just in case it pops up again, and I can add more books to it if I see fit. But I decided to read Girls Like Us by Christina Alger, which if you saw my last vlog, I just purchased. So that's fun. But I'm listening to it as an audiobook. I'm about halfway through. It's about this girl who's an FBI agent, but right now she's on paid leave from the FBI, recovering from an injury. And she also shot someone in the line of duty, so they always like examine that and decide, like they do like an investigation. So she's dealing with that. Her dad just died in a motorcycle accident, and she is sort of being asked by the local police in her like hometown to look into the case that her dad was most recently working on. And it involves the death and dismemberment of 2 young girls who I believe are both working girls, and they're both of Hispanic descent. I don't know how important the Hispanic descent part is. I imagine fairly, because the main character's mother was Hispanic. I don't remember where her mom was from, but her mom was murdered when she was 7 in like a really gruesome way. And so I think that all of the murders are connected. I have several theories. She's getting like, she's discovering that her dad knew a lot more about this case than like he was letting the police know. And I have some theories as to why that is. Personally, I have a pretty solid theory on what is going to happen. I would be interested to see if that's the road that this author like takes with it, because I think that could be a really interesting way to explore it, but also it could be something that I'm not even thinking of, or it could be an even more obvious answer that I'm considering at this moment a red herring. So we'll see. But I'm enjoying it. I'm not like loving it. Honestly, I don't know if this is like an author for me. And again, I've mentioned this before, procedurals just aren't really a thing that I love. So I don't know if it's that aspect of it that's like kind of dragging it down for me, but like I don't often enjoy following cops or like FBI agents or like marshals or whatever the case may be. Like law enforcement in thrillers is not my favorite thing. I'm okay. I like a journalist in a thriller. I think that's really interesting. I also like when it's just like a person who, and I hate the trope of like nobody's listening to this person, because they like, specifically with women in domestic thrillers, women will say like this weird thing is happening and everyone will be like, no, it's not, you're crazy. I don't love that, but I prefer it to procedurals, because I don't know exactly what it is about it, but I just like the like normal person doing some investigative work as opposed to like a cop. But I don't know. So anyways, I'm tentatively enjoying it. Again, I started it yesterday. I got like almost halfway through. I'm listening to it as an audiobook, so audiobooks always go pretty quick for me. So I'm going to continue to listen to it. I'll keep you updated of what I'm doing. But yeah, that is my only update for right now. Hello. So I just finished Girls Like Us by Christina Alger. Solid 3 stars. It was fine. What I expected did not actually happen, but it was another twist, which was interesting. But yeah, I just don't think, I don't know. I hesitate to say that all police procedurals aren't for me, but I just feel like for the most part, it's not something that I necessarily love. Even when, like this one, it involves, this is not really a spoiler, like a corrupt police department, because you're aware pretty early on that there's like some corruption going on. Also, sorry for the glare on my glasses. It's nighttime, but I am going to pick another prompt. I don't know if I'm going to start reading it right now because I kind of want to read some of the physical book that I have that I don't think I'm going to be able to fit onto this TBR. So I'm just going to roll and see what we land on, and then I will let you know what I pick when I pick something. Okay. So, ooh, a double. So 12. So I think for me, for doubles, I'll talk to you in a second. Hold on. But we ended up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stabby. Okay. So as you saw, I landed on a double. I got double sixes. And the prompt I got was stabby. And so I'm trying to decide how I want to play this because I don't really know how Becca recommends doubles if you're rolling as you go. So I could pick 2 books for the stabby prompt. I could also roll again and have to pick prompts or a book that fills both stabby and the other prompt that I land on. So I might do that. I'm going to do that. And we'll see what we end up with. Hold on. Okay, for the second roll. Oh, no. 7. Okay, so landed on stabby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Black cat. Let me look up what that means. Okay, so stabby, I'm pretty sure is just like up to interpretation. So it's like something that's either like a slasher or a thriller that involves murder, or murder mystery, something like that. And then Black Cats is a book with a cat on the cover, or that like has a cat as a central character. So I'm gonna have to look for this, and I will let you know what I come up with when I come up with something. I'm sure I can find something, but I'll have to like, I'm gonna peek around and see what I can find. Hello. So I've quickly come to a decision. Sorry, Matt. I've quickly come to a decision, and I think I'm gonna read 2 books for this prompt. So I'm actually gonna not do the combined prompts things. I wasn't really having any luck. I don't feel like going through all 1,300 books I have on my Goodreads TBR. But I am, for the stabby prompt, gonna be reading Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. I'm like not even 50 pages into this. I am into it a little bit, but I'm not even 50 pages into this. This is the second book in the Scythe trilogy. I'm rereading these just for fun. This is the physical book I have right now. I own this book, so I do really enjoy this series. It basically follows, the first book follows Citra and Rowan as they are being trained to be scythes, which in this society in the future, humankind has conquered death, so there's not a way to naturally die. So there are these things called scythes, which are people who are trained specifically in the art of killing, and they have to do population control. And so Citra and Rowan are both being trained to be scythes. The sequels bridge off from that idea, but the Thunderhead is like the cloud in this world. And so it's like all information is stored in a cloud, and the cloud is almost like, it's not quite a person, but it's kind of personified, but that's what Thunderhead, the title, means. So I am going to be reading this for the stabby prompt, and it's stabby because scythes kill people. That's like literally a huge part of the book. And then for the cat prompt, I've decided I'm going to read The Master and Margarita by, who wrote this book? Mikhail Bulgakov. It is a classic that I've been meaning to read. I don't really know that much about it, but I will read it to you quickly. I know that it has talking cats. That's like part of it. Which is why I decided to read it. There's also a cat on this cover. There was not a cat on the cover that I was originally looking at, but it's a fantasy classic from Russia. What's with the Russian classics? I don't know. But it says, one hot spring, the devil arrives in Moscow, accompanied by a retinue that includes a beautiful naked witch and an immense talking black cat with a fondness for chess and vodka. I'm not going to read the rest of the description, but I have an audiobook of this from my library, so I'm excited to get this one read as well. To check off some more books for my TBR. So sorry that they don't combine. I guess I'll read The Master and Margarita, and if there's anything that's stabby happens in it, I will let you know. But for all intents and purposes, this is going to be my stabby book, and this is also going to be what I'm reading right now because I'm in the mood to physically read something. So this is what I'm going to read for a little bit before I go to bed. And I will give you an update on where I am when I have like enough status in either of these to give a proper update. Okay.
which are what we call matching tables. So, ratification of the 18th Amendment to the Constitution by the U.S. Congress. So, as a result, nearly all the degrees here in St. Louis.
Hello friends, it is Monday. It's time for me to update this vlog. So this weekend I filmed some clips, but I didn't film a ton. Sorry about that. We went to St. Louis for my birthday. My birthday's actually Wednesday, but we did like a pre-birthday celebration. It was super fun. We toured the Anheuser-Busch factory, facility, brewery, whatever, which was pretty cool. We also did, we went and saw Beetlejuice at Fox Theater, which was really fun. It's like a historic theater venue in St. Louis. What else did we do? Matt took me to dinner on Saturday. We went to Treehouse St. Louis. So if you're vegetarian or vegan, it's a great place. Everything is 100% vegan and can be made vegetarian. If you, like me, have a nut allergy, like some things, they have the option to have dairy cheese, which was great. I didn't end up needing that because I just ate some things that didn't have any fake cheese on it, which was fine. But it was super fun. I really recommend it. It was very tasty. I wanted to give you some updates on my reading progress. So I'm still reading The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov, I think. And I think I'm too dumb for this book. And I don't even mean that in like a derogatory way towards myself. I just think this book has a lot of intertextual references and I don't get them. So I feel like this is one of those books that would have really benefited me to have read in a classroom setting where someone who knew what was going on could be like, hey, this is what's happening here. So I am probably going to look up the whole synopsis once I finish it. I've looked up part of it because I was getting really confused. I'm about halfway through. But basically the premise of this book is it's in two timelines and we're in the, like at the time, present day Moscow, which is like the 40s, I think, during the Stalin regime. So the 30s or 40s. It's following the devil in Moscow, who is disguised as a professor. And then it's also following the master, who is, I don't really know. And he has a cat. And the cat is magical. That might be part of the devil. I really can't remember. But it also keeps flashing back to Jerusalem in the time of Christ. And it talks about like Pontius Pilate. And like the what is it called? The crucifixion, I guess. So that's part of it too. I don't really know what's happening in this book. Yeah, so I'm still reading it, but like I said, I just feel like I just don't get it. And I don't want to DNF it. But it's like when you're sitting in a room of people who are like laughing about something and they keep saying things that you know is the joke, but you don't get the joke. That's how it feels reading this book. It feels like I'm sitting with a group of people who were like college friends who are talking about like inside jokes that they had from college that I have no idea what they're talking about. That's what it feels like. So I'm not loving it. I'm also reading Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman, which is the second book in the Scythe trilogy. And I'm really enjoying it. I will say this was my favorite book when I originally read the trilogy because it brings in a lot more of the world building. Second time through, I really loved the first book and I'm not loving the second one as much as I thought I would, or as I remember loving it. But also it's still good. Like I still think I'm not going to change my rating from 5 stars and put it down at all. But I just think that's interesting that the first time I read this series, I liked the first book, but the second book is when I was really like, okay, things are gearing up because you get like a lot more of the world. And of course you learn more about the Thunderhead, which is the like cloud personified basically. It's like AI that's in charge of the world, which is really interesting. You also learn about unsavories, which are people who like want to be bad, but there's really no way to be bad. So it's like essentially they're criminals. And like the way that the Thunderhead sort of accounts for them and like gives them ways that they can do things that are like bad, so to speak. Even though there's like no real need for it anymore. Because like all the things like sickness, poverty, etc. has all been eradicated. It also talks more about like how everyone has a job, but like no jobs are really necessary because it could have automated everything, but people need a purpose. And for people who don't want to work, they have like universal basic income, but like most people want to get off of that because they like want to do something more with their lives. So it's super interesting. It introduces more characters that we didn't have the first time, specifically this guy Grayson is a big character in this book, and it like talks more about the relationship between the Scythedom and the Thunderhead, and like Nimbus is like the humans who work for the Thunderhead, basically. I don't know. It's very interesting. And again, I mentioned this when I was reading the last book. There are a lot of things that are building to what happens in the third book. And also, there's a lot that I didn't remember about this book, which I'm also enjoying. So, while I'm not like as in love with it as I was the first time I read it, even talking about it, like I'm really enjoying it. So, I am probably gonna read some more of that. I just finished work for the day. Woo! So I'm probably gonna read some more of that until Matt gets home, and then I will give you another update when I have one. Hello, so I have just finished reading The Master and Margarita. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I just finished it. I just got done with work for the day as well. Came home, changed, and yesterday I read a lot of Thunderhead also. So I have several updates to give you. I'll start with The Master and Margarita. I gave it 3 stars. I, since finishing it, have also have also read a couple Wikipedia articles about the plot synopsis, because I told you that I wasn't quite sure I was grasping everything that's happening. But I think I got it for the most part. I think just, it feels like, I've already talked about this, but it kind of feels like a book that's like full of internal references, and I know I'm not getting all of those. But I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was fine. I really liked the talking cat element of it. I thought it was a little confusing, but after reading who everyone was supposed to be in like the devil's entourage, it made more sense. So I think if I were to recommend this to other people, I would not recommend the audiobook. I didn't think it was bad. I think if you've already read it or you understand it, the audiobook might be a good way to go. But I think reading it physically would give you a better chance of like stopping and going back and like rereading things if you didn't understand them. So yeah, that's my update on that. I did read that for the black cat prompt because it does feature a giant black cat who is said to be like as large as a hog. His name is Behemoth, which is hilarious to me. So now I kind of want to get a black cat that I name Behemoth. I'm always looking for like literary references for pet names that I just like tuck away in here. But Thunderhead, I am pretty far into this as well. I've been reading it as an ebook on my phone and reading the physical book, so this isn't where I am. But I think I have less than 100 pages left. Let me actually check, and I will let you know how many pages I have left. Okay, so I'm 406 pages in, and the book is 504 pages long. So I do have about 100 pages left. That's more than I thought I had, but I will hopefully finish that tonight. So because of that, I did go ahead and roll for my next prompt, and I landed on the, well, I'll show you those rolls right now. I landed on the prompt Jigsaw, which is to read a book that features a game, trial, or tournament. So my first thought, to be honest with you, was that I should read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the prequel to The Hunger Games. It's about President Snow, if you read The Hunger Games, but it's set before the games start, I believe. And I wanted to do that, but my library has like a wait list for it. So I have the audio and the ebook on hold, or I think I actually just have the audiobook on hold, and it said it should be here in 5 weeks, which frankly is less time than I thought it would be. So hopefully that comes a little sooner than 5 weeks. That's like the maximum amount of time it would take. And then I can read that before going to see the movie that comes out next month. So I'm not reading that for this vlog, but I am planning on reading it. So I'm pretty excited for that now that it's like here. I talked about this in my end of the year book tag, but I didn't know if I was going to actually get to it. But now I think I might, just for fun. So that's on the list. But the next book that I'm going to pick up that fits the Jigsaw prompt is going to be Anatomy of a Scandal by Sarah Vaughan, which I don't know the entire synopsis, but it is a legal thriller, which means that it has a what? A trial. Boo. So I'm cheating. I wanted to read, there was another book that I was planning on reading, or not planning, but thought about reading. It's called Tastes Like Candy, and it's on Kindle. I no longer have Kindle Unlimited. That's the reason I ultimately decided not to go with that one. But I do have a Kindle somewhere, so I could buy it on Kindle, but I don't know if I'm actually going to do that. But it's essentially, that one's about like a scavenger hunt, and it's a spooky read, which is why I was interested in reading it. But, you know, I'm going to read this legal thriller. We're going to see how it goes. There's an audiobook available. There's also a TV show, I think, based on it, so I might watch that when I'm done. I will say Matt and I have started watching The Fall of the House of Usher, and it's pretty good. I wish I'd read that book already, which I haven't. I do get some of the references to Edgar Allan Poe. Like, one of the characters' names is Tamerlane, which is Edgar Allan Poe's like first published work that he published under a pseudonym. I think it was like the Bostonian or something. So where was I going with that? Oh, we're watching that, and it's pretty good. This weekend is our Halloween party. Tomorrow is my birthday. That's the other thing I was going to say. I got some things for my birthday that I can show you really quick. For my birthday this year, I mentioned that we went to St. Louis, and I got this sweatshirt when we were there. So it's got the Clydesdales from Anheuser-Busch, and it says St. Louis, Missouri, I think. Yeah. And on the back, it has their butts, which was like a really popular design in the late 90s, or maybe the 80s. I don't really remember, but I had like a bunch of shirts like that growing up. So I thought that was hilarious. And then what else did he get me? Oh, he got me a makeup bag. There was something in a bigger bag, and I was like, what is that? But I needed a new makeup bag, so he did give me that, but I don't have it down here. It's upstairs. And then he got me a stamp for books. So it says, from the Library of Mary Sagar, I believe, which is going to be my new last name. Which is my new last name. I just haven't legally changed it. Doesn't matter. And he got me like ink for it. So I need to stamp all of my books. And when I do that, I kind of want to count them. So, because I think it's 1,000 books to make a library, and I want to build my home library up to 1,000 books and then start cutting books that I either have read and thought were just okay, or that I'm not interested in reading anymore, so that I can like keep a funky fresh collection. But yes, so that is what I got for my birthday this year so far. I don't know if there will be more things, but I am. My parents are coming tomorrow, which is my actual birthday. They're coming because my sister has a thing that she scheduled around my birthday so that we could do like my birthday celebration and her like celebration all at once, which is very exciting. I think it's going to be really fun. I don't usually see my parents on my birthday. I haven't really hung out with them for my birthday since college, because fall break used to be around my birthday, so I would sort of celebrate my birthday on fall break with my parents, but it's been, gosh, 6 years since I've done that. So I'm excited that they're gonna come to town. I'm telling you, if you live away from your parents, the best way to get your parents to come visit you is have kids, okay? Because my sister moved an hour away from me. She has 2 kids. My parents have visited 3 times since she's moved here. This will be the 3rd time they visited. Which before this, they visited me once. So, in the year that I lived here. And my sisters moved here, gosh, July, I think. So I'm just saying, if you want to see your parents more, have children, because they will be around. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. Hopefully I'll finish Thunderhead tonight, and then I have a physical version and an audiobook version of Anatomy of a Scandal. So realistically, I can probably finish that. If not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and then I can roll again. So stay tuned, and I will keep you updated with what I'm doing. Hello friends, it's Thursday. My birthday was yesterday, and I went to my sister's promotion, which was really fun, and then I hung out with my parents because they were in town for that, so I hung out with my parents, my niece and nephew, and we just had a great time. But today, I wanted to let you know that I finished Thunderhead yesterday, so I've officially finished with the Stabby prompt for this readathon. I upped my rating. For some reason, I thought I gave it 5 stars originally, but I upped my rating to 5 stars because, as we've discussed, I actually do love the Scythe universe, and I'm very, very glad to be rereading it, and I'm really excited to get to Gleanings. So today, on the agenda, I'm going to finish up work. I'm going to record a video, like a sit-down video. I think I'm doing my TBR for November. So I already did my rolls for the game, because I play a TBR game on my channel every month, or I used to. Now I do it like every 3 months, apparently, but I'm trying to get back into that. So I did do some rolls for that. I also have picked my buzzword read for the month. So anyways, yes, I'm doing all of that. I'm about to eat lunch. I have a salad. I ordered lasagna and like a vegetable lasagna from a restaurant here as takeout, and I got a side salad with it, and then I ended up just eating the lasagna piece because I ordered a half piece, but it was honestly huge. So I just ate the lasagna and I didn't eat the side salad, so I brought it home with me, and now I have it here, so I'm gonna eat that. And then I am going to probably film that video and then get back and finish my work day. But that's what I'm planning on doing this lunch break. I just wanted to let you know that I finished Thunderhead. I really am enjoying it, and I've started reading, what is it called? Anatomy of a Scandal. And basically this is about a prime minister, or not, there's only one, an MP. I still don't know what they are, but it's basically like an elected official in England. This is the second book that I've read like in this month that has talked about MPs, and I'm just finding it confusing because I don't really know what it is. But he has a scandal happening where essentially I think he's going to be accused of sexually assaulting a woman in his office. Right now, it's just saying that an affair happened, but I believe there's going to be like a sexual assault scandal with that, or somebody else. I don't really know. But we're following his wife's perspective. And then also there's an attorney. They're called barristers in England, but she's like a prosecuting barrister usually, but I have a feeling she's going to be his defense barrister. I don't know, defense attorney, whatever, in his criminal case. Because she typically does that kind of thing. So I don't really know how that works in England. In the US, for the most part, you either are a prosecutor or you are not. I know some counties don't have dedicated prosecutors. And so they like kind of switch back and forth, but typically our defense and prosecution are like very separate. But I don't know if that's the same in England. I really don't know how the law works in England. I don't understand it. But anyways, yes. So I'm reading that. I'm not very far into it at all. I think I'm like 3 chapters in. So I don't know a ton, but that's what's happened so far. I don't even know what the like main premise is. But again, I'm reading this for the Jigsaw prompt because it involves a trial. I know that that's not really what it meant when it said trial in the prompt, but I'm counting it anyways. So yes, that's that. I don't know why, but ever since I cut my hair, it gets so greasy so fast. I washed my hair yesterday and it's like 12:45 and it's already not even, it's 12:34 and it's already like so greasy, which I hate. I hate the feeling of having really greasy hair. I used to be able to go like days without washing my hair, but it's because when my hair was longer, I could put it up. And now that my hair is short, I feel like I can't really put it up. And so it just gets greasy immediately. And I can't stand it. It's driving me absolutely insane. That is so far the biggest con of having hair this length. I tried to braid it this morning, which is again part of the reason it's so greasy is because I was running my fingers through it trying to braid it, and the braids just looked horrible because it's so short. So I'm still like figuring out half up, half down seems to work with this. And I need to just invest in dry shampoo. I haven't had dry shampoo in like 5 years, probably since the last time my hair was short. And it's because I never needed it when my hair was long because I could just throw it up and you couldn't really tell that it was greasy. Also, lighter colored hair doesn't show grease as much. I feel like it's like very apparent when my hair is dark that it's like greasy and not washed. So yeah, if you have any tips and tricks, let me know. If you have dark hair, what's your favorite dry shampoo? Let me know. Anyways, Marvel's right here. I'm gonna finish eating my lunch, finish my work day, film a video, and hopefully read some this afternoon. Hello. I just got out of the shower, obviously. It is Thursday night. Matt went to a show. I think my makeup is like smeared on my face a little bit, or it's shadows. I really can't tell. I don't have makeup remover right now, so I've just been using face soap to get it off, and it works sometimes way better than other times. So usually in the shower it works pretty well, but I did place an Ulta order today for dry shampoo and makeup remover. So hopefully that comes in at some point. I think it's not due to come in until like next Friday. So Ulta shipping is kind of slow, especially when they do ground shipping, because I think the dry shampoo is probably in an aerosol can. So that's why it's a little slower. But I just wanted to update you. I don't know if I've talked about this in this vlog. I think in my last vlog I hauled Anatomy of a Scandal, which is part of the reason I chose to read it, because I am trying to read books from my shelves. So I have this about just under 100 pages in, and I thought I should let you know that it follows, I think, 4 perspectives. So it's following the attorney woman, the wife of the minister, who is like at the center of being in trouble. I believe part of the chapters will follow the minister as well, but I'm not entirely sure. It might actually only be 2 perspectives. Yeah, so it sometimes follows James, who is the minister. I don't know who else. So I believe Sophie is the wife. Holly, I think, is... No, Kate. Kate is the barrister. I don't know who Holly is then. We just got another perspective from Holly, so she might be the fourth perspective. So we have Kate, the barrister, Sophie, the wife. What's his name? James, the minister, and Holly, who, I don't know how much of a spoiler this is, but it's told in multiple timelines. So we're in a timeline where Sophie is at Oxford, and we're following Holly's perspective during that time. So I don't really know who Holly is, but she is at Oxford at this time with Sophie. And I believe with one of Kate's friends that we just met in the present day timeline. So I'm a little confused as to how all of it ties in. If it's not a spoiler, I will let you know. If it is a spoiler, then I will keep my mouth shut and just enjoy the ride. But I am enjoying this book. I'm watching some rerun sprints from Gavin's channel. So I just got him muted while he's talking. And hopefully this will help me get through some of what I'm reading. So that's my goal. I do like to use reading sprints even when they're not live. I would like to start doing reading sprints again on my channel because I used to do them, but I haven't done them in quite some time. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm going to read some of this tonight. I have it as an audiobook, and that's how I've read the first 100 pages, but I'm going to hopefully read physically because I think I can knock some of it out physically. I've been really enjoying physically reading, and I finished The Thunderhead, which was my last physical book. I also have an ebook still of The English Patient. So I also got the ebook of The Toll by Neil Shusterman, which is the third book in the Scythe trilogy, which I want to read before I read Gleanings, which is on my TBR for next month, which you will have seen by now. But yes, so I need to read The Toll before I read Gleanings. I don't think I actually have to because I've already read it, but that's my plan to do that. So I want to finish The English Patient before I read The Toll, because The Toll is one of those books that I don't own physically, although I would like to get it because I can see myself rereading the series again in a couple of years. I really enjoy it, and I'm really loving my reread. So that's where I'm at. I will hopefully start sprinting here in a second, and I will let you know if anything big happens or how I'm feeling. Right now, it's pretty much just like setting up who everybody is, kind of. But I think the reason that we're back in time at Oxford is because James probably does something at Oxford. And James, in the present day timeline, has been accused of rape by his former mistress. So, we'll see. Hello. I have just made some stuff for our Halloween party tonight. So, I'm making a cake because it's one of our girlfriend's birthdays. And so, she was kind of annoyed that he wanted to come up here for this party. But I made her a cake so that she doesn't feel as bad that she's hanging out with his friends for her birthday. But oh no, it's his wife, I guess. They're married, sorry. I also made these, which are apple shrunken heads, and they're gonna go in our punch, which is a like salted caramel apple cider sangria thing. If I can remember, I'll link the recipe. I'm really tired. Matt just went with our friends to go carve pumpkins, and I said I was gonna stay here because I want to do some stuff around the house, and then some of our friends are actually meeting here because they're coming straight from out of town. And so I thought I would take this opportunity while no one is here to quickly update this vlog because I have finished Anatomy of a Scandal by Sarah Vaughan. I gave it 4 stars. It's realistically like a 3.5. I enjoyed my read of this. Like I mentioned, it's about a criminal case where a guy who is a a minister in England has been accused of rape. He was having an affair with someone who works on his team, like an assistant or something, and they broke up, and then he allegedly raped her in an elevator. And so it follows a couple of different perspectives, including the minister's wife, the minister himself, and the attorney for the other side, for the prosecutor, who has a connection to them that you find out as you read it. It also goes back and forth to their time in Oxford, where he met his now wife, and things that he did and got up to there. There are some like twists, but ultimately it's not a super twisty book. I did enjoy the way it was written. I enjoyed the courtroom antics of it. I didn't love this book, and I don't know if legal thrillers aren't for me or if it's just this one, but it was good. Like, I would recommend it, but it's not like an all-time favorite or anything. And I thought it was pretty like obvious the whole time what was sort of happening. There's like one final twist at the end, but it's not very twisty. Like, they've been hinting at it a lot, and so I think if you were paying attention, you can figure it out. But I did finish that. I also read quickly The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't know. Whichever one that is, by Douglas Adams. And that is a sci-fi book. It's like very goofy, and it's like British dark humor and a little bit like satire, I guess. But the premise is that there's this guy, Arthur, who gets told by his longtime friend that the Earth is going to end, to be like made way for like an intergalactic highway system, kind of. And so he and this guy, who turns out is an alien who's been stuck on Earth for 15 years, hitchhike out into space. And there's all sorts of other stuff happening. I didn't love this book. It's a trilogy or a series, I think. I think there's like 4 or 5 books, so I don't think it's actually a trilogy, but I've heard the last 2 books don't quite follow the original trilogy. So I don't think I'm going to finish the series. I think I'm going to take it off my TBR. I'm not that interested in it, which is fine. I gave this book 3 stars. I thought it was fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not really my cup of tea, I guess. And I've heard that the second and third books are better than the first book, but I don't care enough to keep going, if that makes sense. So I have done that. I have to roll for my next prompt, which I might do now while I'm waiting for my friends to show up here. But I just wanted to give you that quick update. So I'm going to roll for another prompt, and then I'll let you know if I'm picking a book right now or whenever I pick my next book. Okay. So the last prompt we landed on was Jigsaw, which is right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is, There Is Nothing I Do Better Than Revenge, which I believe is just a book with a revenge plot. My name is Mary. I am Magenta from Sky High. And my favorite costume is Aubrey as Cocaine Bear because it's so funny. So that's my vote for the night. Hello. If I look rough, it's because I'm exhausted. I still need to clean like my house from our party last night. It's Sunday now. So we had our Halloween party last night. It was super fun. We had a great time. I don't think I have any clips from it, which is to be expected. I'm currently watching reading sprints and snuggling with the dogs. Matt decided he wanted to go to a record store that's like an hour away from us, so he is out for the day. And I told him I did not want to leave the house, so I'm not leaving the house. But I did want to update you that I picked a book. So I'm going to read Sadie by Courtney Summers. And I don't really know what this book is about, but the prompt that I landed on was to read a revenge book. So I literally Googled books with revenge plots, and I found a list on Goodreads of books that people had shelved as revenge. So this was on that list. Six of Crows was also on the list, but the wait list from my library is pretty long for that one. And then Corrupt by Penelope Douglas was also on the list. But those were the books that were above this one in order on the list that I have an interest in reading, but I have not read yet. So I'm going to read that. I haven't started it yet, but I'm about to. And I will let you know once I know more about it. I just wanted to let you know that I picked what I'm going to read. Hello, it is Monday now, October 30th. So it's Monday night, so today's pretty much over, but I have tomorrow left of this readathon. And I thought about cutting it off after I finished Sadie, which, by the way, I finished Sadie today. I had a day at work where I was like pretty much able to listen to my audiobook for a lot of the day, and that audiobook is not super long. My thoughts on Sadie ultimately are that if you do read it, I think you should read it via audio. The audio is like a full cast, and then the podcast elements are really well done. So if you like podcasts like Serial and stuff like that, like it's really interesting. That book is about this girl, Sadie, whose sister has been murdered or died. Her body was found, I think, just slightly before this happened. And then Sadie is on a mission for revenge, looking for who she thinks killed her sister. And the podcast doesn't know what happened to the sister. The sister's name is Maddie. But the guy who is running the podcast, I think his name is West or something West. And he is trying to, he's doing something else in a town near where Sadie and her sister are from in Colorado. And he hears about the story, and his boss decides he should like follow this story. He's a journalist. And so he doesn't really want to at first, but he decides to do it. And you get like alternate timelines. So one of them, you're following Sadie through the acts of everything that's happening while she's on her like revenge journey. And then you're also following West from the perspective of his podcast, where he's like interviewing characters that you met when they met Sadie and like seeing that aspect of it. And in that way, I thought it was really interesting. Again, the audiobook is extremely well done. The whole story is very like compelling to read. That being said, I didn't ultimately love the ending. it kind of fell, well, it very much fell flat for me, especially because the way that the audiobook ends, there's still like 30 or 40 minutes of the audiobook left because the version I listened to had a short story at the end of it. And that's like not, it connects another book by Courtney Summers to Sadie. So I didn't listen to that because I've never read the other book by Courtney Summers. But for me, like, it was just kind of a bummer, I guess, because I was expecting to have like 30 or 40 more minutes for things to wrap up. And then I realized that was the wrap up. So, yeah, I think I gave it 4 stars because up until that point, I was like really, really enjoying it. But again, I do really recommend the audiobook. I'm so glad I read it that way. I also went ahead and rolled one more time because I finished this book at like noon today. I decided it would be a good idea to give it one more roll. And I landed on Community Chest again, which I'm really annoyed by because I feel like, not that Community Chest or whatever is a bad thing, but I didn't make those cards. And so I always just use a random TBR generator or TBR prompt generator, which this time I got Own Voices. And I'll tell you what I picked in a second when I finish my thought. But like, this readathon had so many like fun Halloween-ish prompts on the board, and I landed on like 3 of them, which I just personally think is annoying. But I mean, there's nothing anyone can do about that. I just kept rolling ones that were not like Halloween or spooky season specific. But for Own Voices, I went with a book that I have an audiobook for my library of, and it's called 30 Things I Love About Myself by Radhika something. I can't remember her last name, but it's about a British Indian woman, and the author is a British Indian woman. So counts as Own Voices. I looked up what like makes something Own Voices, and it's just somebody with like a minority identity somewhere, written from the perspective of that identity. So whether it's like disability rep can be Own Voices, like queer rep can be Own Voices, which for me, queer rep gets a little tricky because it's like the author has to like come out and say, because I think that was a big thing with like Casey McQuiston. People were getting mad at Casey McQuiston for always like writing queer characters, and people were saying that they were, I'm using they, them pronouns because I believe Casey McQuiston is also non-binary. But they are queer, but they had to like come out and tell everybody that. And like, I don't know, that just really rubbed me the wrong way. But anyways, some people are out, and that's beautiful and fine, and great for them. But I don't know. I try to be very careful with when I say things are Own Voices or not Own Voices, because you never know, I guess. But I am reading that. I don't know if I'm halfway into it yet. It feels like, based on things that are happening, that I should be about halfway into it, but I don't know if that's true. But it's about this woman, Nina, who lives in Leicester, and she, before the book starts, had a breakup with her fiance, who she was in a long-term relationship with for like 3 years. And she basically like doesn't really have a career. Her relationship just fell apart, so she just moved back in with her mom. Her dad actually passed away from suicide, and so her brother is also suffering with depression, so he's living at home too, and they're both in their 30s. So the book opens on the night before her 30th birthday, and she gets arrested because she accidentally joins a protest, and then she ends up moving in with her mom. And it's about like being a disappointment to like your family, but also to yourself. But while she's in jail, she gets given this book because she asked for something to read because she's bored. She gets given a book called like, I don't know what it's a self-help book basically about loving yourself and learning to love yourself. And so she's on like a journey this year to like figure out things that she loves about herself and learning to love herself. And I'm really enjoying it. I am getting really frustrated though, because it's doing that thing that I don't know if I've talked about before, but there's this tendency for a lot of shitty things to happen to a character, or for a character to be treated like really crappily by everyone around them. And then as soon as that character responds, everyone is like chastising them again. And they're like, you really shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have responded that way. That's not how you should have reacted to this. And it's almost like the audience is supposed to be like, oh, that character messed up. I will never feel that way because frankly, I always feel like people deserve worse than what gets done to them when they treat the main character ways like that. So I don't know if I'm unique in that. I don't know how to give a proper example, but like one thing that's really common in this book is Nina's mom is like kind of a stereotypical Indian mom where she's like, nothing is good enough for her. She's never satisfied. She's always picking apart Nina's appearance. She's always picking apart Nina's behavior, her taste in men, her job choice, her like everything about her. And eventually Nina has this like kind of scandal at work. She writes freelance for a BuzzFeed like company, and she writes an article that gets a lot of traction because it's supposed to be talking about how like she feels like South Asian representation is not very good in the media, but somehow that gets twisted to her being like Black people shouldn't be in as many movies as they're in. And I do like, I don't know, she didn't say that at all, first of all. So I'm confused at how they got the soundbite to say that, but basically her mom is saying like, you have ruined my life, and Nina's whole thing is like, I'm a grown woman, like it doesn't matter. And then for some reason her brother is like, yeah, you're just being really selfish right now, which is insane to me. I guess it's partially a cultural difference, I think, because I just like, I don't know, I don't think that it's like culturally acceptable for white people to talk to their kids like that, if you know what I mean, like Western people. It's like definitely like a holdover from like Indian households. When you marry, you end up moving into the husband's household, and like the mother-in-law is still like head of the household. Like there's a very much a, I don't know, like a closer family thing. So, not that that's a bad thing. I just think this is one of the biggest cons of it that I'm seeing. Cause I think if my parents ever tried to make something that was happening to me about them, I would like lose my fucking mind. So reading that is really frustrating because it's like everyone is against her now. When it's like, first of all, it's not even that big of a deal. And it bothers me because it's like her career that's in turmoil and everyone's making it about themselves. And then saying that she's selfish for not thinking of how this would affect them. And it's not affecting them. Like they're making it about them. But, that's my biggest like critique, but I am really rooting for Nina, so that's good. Sorry, this has been a long update with me talking about that, but I'm hoping again to finish this tomorrow on the last day of October. I'm sad that it's not like a super spooky book to wind things up, but yeah, I've had a really good time with this readathon, so I will let you know when I finish this book, and it will certainly be the last book that I read this month. I'll also let you know, since I have an ebook of what's it called? The English Patient that I'm still working my way through. I'll let you know if I have any progress in that, but I don't really anticipate myself getting too far in that. I might read a little bit of it tonight before bed, but I don't think I'll like finish it and today or tomorrow because it is, first of all, I'm having to actually read it rather than just listen to it while I do other things. So that always takes extra time. And then also it's kind of a slower paced book for me reading wise. So Marvel is here snuggling. Right now I'm going to actually upload a video that has to go up today. It's my TBR for November because we're back on the TBR game. So that would be the video you saw before this. And if all things go to plan, I'm planning on having this vlog up on Thursday this week. So I'm going to go back to 2 videos a week and see if I can do that for a while because I've been like itching to make content, but also I don't know if I have time to do that, but I'm gonna try. So that's where I'm at. Again, now this video is 10 minutes long, or this intro, this update is 10 minutes long. But I will talk to you when I have another. Hello. So, sorry, Murphy just got up too. It is now Thursday. This video is going up today. I am about to go on a date night with my husband. So I wanted to quickly update this while I had a second because I don't think I ever fully close out this vlog, but I did finish 30 Things I Love About Myself. And I gave it 3 stars. It's 2.5 stars. Frankly, this book just had a lot of like starts and stops. It has like multiple moments where Nina's like feeling on top of the world and then something happens and it crashes down. So it just follows her in a year of her life. And honestly, it got kind of repetitive, kind of boring. Nina ended up getting like actually pretty self-centered, and what really pushed me over the edge, I think, was she went to a wedding and the groom gave a speech at the wedding about the bride. And the whole time Nina was like, the way he's talking about her is exactly how I feel about myself. And that was just like a couple steps too far for me. I'm all about like loving yourself, respecting yourself, treating yourself well, whatever, self-love, self-care, etc. But I don't think that reasonable people listen to someone talk about the love of their life and are like, oh, that's me. It was just strange. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. Not a bad book, a meh book. I'll probably forget about it. I don't think I'll think about it a whole lot. And that's that on that. But thank you so much for watching this vlog. If you made it to this point in the video, leave a pumpkin emoji down below. Let me know what you read during October. Also, let me know if you participated in this readathon and how you did. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!